How satisfying was it for the defense to have put the 4 quarters together like you guys did the other night?
Yeah, I think it was really satisfying. I guess it was really great for those young guys because they played, some really good football, but they played it in spurts and they finally put it all together. And I think they starting to understand what it feels like to win, what it feels like to put that full game together with the young crew.
Spencer was saying a lot of it was just winning your matchups, but just to get more pressure and get in the backfield more. And I know you had the 7 tackles for loss, but you're some other hits and hurries and things. I mean, what are you guys able to have so much success getting in the backfield?
I don't know if it's one thing, but it was just about the preparation from the players and the coaches, everybody, doing their job, I think, first and foremost, and trusting that the guy next to you was going to do their job. So, I mean, I know that sounds cliche and those kind of things, but that really, the game plan was great that Coach Danielson had set up for us, and then the kids just executed. And I think that it was a great feeling to see practice carry over to the game.
With Andrew Simpson, I know you kind of talked to him on the sideline, but how impressive is he becoming, I guess?
Yeah, he's a guy that's really like, you use the word growth, but there's a lot of growth in him. I mean, he's a fantastic athlete, exceptional athlete. He's just growing so much off the field and in his mental game, and we're able to make those adjustments with him on the sideline. And tell him, what's going on and what to expect. So his growth and just his maturity, the way he goes about his business is growing dramatically.
He was talking about reading keys and stuff after the game. He looked back at a couple of those tackle for losses he had. And it was like he would see something and he'd be like just shot out of a cannon or something like that. Like how fast was he playing at times?
Yeah, playing really fast, and that's a big part of it. Coach Avalos, Coach Danielson, things that they stress all the time to the entire team, the defense, is just elite eye control. And I think that the guys are really buying into that right now. Just like he said, his keys, everybody talks about your keys, but it's just about, where do my eyes need to be pre-snap, and then what does that indicator tell me? And I think Andrew's doing a really good job of following, trusting his instincts, but also letting his eyes tell him where he needs to play.
DJ Schramm was the only defensive player last week to take a snap that doesn't have eligibility next season. Just the youth on this team and the look ahead and to see where they are at this point with still a lot of room to grow. How exciting is that for you and the rest of the staff?
Yeah, I think it's very exciting. Obviously, the key word is room to grow. You still have to grow, and that's got to be the process, and it's got to be pushed by the coaching staff and the team leaders. But it's very exciting. You go through some of those growing pains, and then, if you can continue to build on what's happened the last few quarters of football, then you have a really exciting football team going into next season.
You guys did a much better job getting to the quarterback last week. I mean, why was that? Was it just play calling? Was it a scheme thing? I mean, what allowed you guys to pressure him better?
Well, once again, I think it's everything. I mean, the calls are the calls. Like, we can always put guys in great positions, whether it's Coach Danielson, Coach Avalos, whoever's gonna make that call, or whoever's gonna design a certain pressure. The calls are the calls. It comes down to the kids, period, point blank. They execute, they beat their one-on-one matchup, just like we talked about earlier, but it always comes down to those players, and those players have done an unbelievable job the last couple of weeks of just executing and winning their matchups.
In terms of being the tip of the spear, or whatever however they call it, I mean, the D-line, is that kind of where it starts? I mean, if the D-line can get some pressure, that obviously, takes a little pressure off the back end. I mean, I know every position probably thinks they're the key to the defense, but does the D-line, do you guys take that pride or put that on you guys, and if you guys can do what you need to do, that's going to make things better for the whole defense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased, but I think all great teams have a great offensive line and a great defensive front, but when you're talking about defense specifically, the rush and coverage work together. It's about pressuring and confusing the quarterback up front, showing them different pictures, showing different patterns. It's about the back end being able to hold their shell or disguise their shell, and then it's about them getting tight coverage, us getting to the quarterback, when they've got some zone eyes and being able to get some interceptions. So that all works together, not one greater part.
What the selflessness of you guys that put your guys up front at times too, where it isn't always about pursuing the quarterback or necessarily the ball, where they open things up for Andrew Simpson to go make plays at times.
Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning of the year, where if you play defensive line, if you coach defensive line, you do not need a pat on the back. Even if you're running a two-man stunt with the defensive end or the other tackle, you may be the one to open that up. His name's going to get in the paper. We'll all know what you did, and we'll all congratulate you, but we don't need a pat on the back from the outside world. And that's just how you have to live your life if you coach up front on either side of the ball, or if you play up front on either side of the ball.
How necessary was that added to this last game, though? I mean, it seems like you guys did that quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that's the attitude every game and every practice. And when we're over there banging that sled for a half an hour, an individual, and other guys get to catch the football and do fun stuff. But that's the mentality, and that's just kind of the growth that you build as a young defensive lineman, probably coming from high school where you're just sacking the quarterback and running free, to now we're playing big boy football and we got to put our hands on some people, and we'll get our turn eventually, but for the most part we're doing our job so somebody else gets to theirs.
How much time did you spend with a guy like Jaden Virgin? What are you kind of seeing out of him?
Yeah, once again, another young guy that was an exceptional athlete that's kind of coming into his own, and whether that's a byproduct of coaching, experience, whatever, but he's getting some more game reps, and I think that's really helped that young guy build his confidence, and he's doing a tremendous job in both practice and games right now.
You put the couple halves together. You finally put the whole game together. Defensively, how eager, I guess, how big is it to try to replicate that and put a whole nother game against a whole nother kind of challenge on Saturday?
Yeah, I think I don't know who exactly said it to our team, but once what was once applauded now is the standard, right? So it's trying to live up to that over and over. And it's hard to play a perfect game. It's never going to be perfect. But to have that kind of standard of execution, pursuit, tackling, getting to the quarterback, that's what we're going to look for each and every week.
Either as a player or a coach, have you been to Fresno State for a game in the past?
I have never played at Fresno State, no.
So first time?
Yeah, I've been to Fresno on many occasions recruiting, but I've never played a game there.
So every former player I talk to says that's one of the most hostile environments they've ever been to. I mean, what's it like? How do you prepare yourself and your players to go into a hostile environment like that? Or do you have to prepare?
I think that there's probably some built-in, preparation from things that have been said in the past and games and all those kind of things, but that's why you do it, right? You do this, you kill yourself all year to play in games like this. You don't want to go someplace where everybody's going to sit on their hands and nobody's going to be in the stands. You want to go into one of these deals, right? And then that's why you do it. That's why you prepare so hard. That's why you can go execute in those type of environments. So I think it's going to be pretty fun for me and for our guys.
Just be warned, last time we were there, two fans got in a fight and it spilled onto the field. So
sounds a lot like when I was in Philly. So
yeah, it'd be good for you.
Anything else? Yeah, the milk can at stake. I mean, do you picture yourself, if you win this game, maybe grabbing it, giving it a hug, and holding it up?
Well, first off, I'm not fast enough anymore to go grab it from our players. I'm sure will have it, and they'll have a hold on it. But no, I think that would be, that's pretty cool deal to at least get a picture with the D line or the D front.